It's a real pleasure to be here, and I really thank Tom for, as Ed said, what a wonderful job he's done with this series, and it's a real pleasure to be here. Let's see. I think I'll start with some poems from my new book, which is called Dear Darkness. Can everyone hear me okay? Do I need to eat this more? It's funny I said eat this because I feel like I'm reading in front of a giant tongue. It's kind of wonderful being in the mouth of the beast. So this is called Sunday Drive. I've been called by God to testify against him, and the heart in its hole knocks, trying to get out. Pretty cage. Sorrow the plate scraped clean. It's neither the food eaten too fast to enjoy, nor the empty plate, but the scraping. What a song. All night long the silence singing. The moles make their way beneath me while I sleep. And Houdini, who could escape anything, all he wanted was to find a way to speak with his dead mother, so spent most his life proving seances false. Now that's love. He died because he wasn't ready. Me, I'm secondhand like sections in the bookstore I never noticed before. Mysteries or used philosophy. Downtown, a hotel declares, welcome, Great West casualty. Why not decide the road along the rise, past the drive-in, showing nothing, and the church sign on the fritz, flashing like lightning? This poem's called Farm Team. As you probably know, Farm Team's minor league baseball team. So, Farm Team. I'm sick of this century already. My pleasant things all ashes are. No horizon. You can tell the sky and ground apart only by guessing. Rookie mistake. Misery is the only company that would hire me, and I learnt yesterday I'm getting laid off. I wish wrong, and too often. My pension long gone, my job farmed out to someone better at failing. I've been trained in nothing. I have taken myself apart in the dark, put back together like a soldier in the rain. One gear always left over. I've been writing these blues poems. My third book, Jelly Roll, was subtitled A Blues, and those were sort of blues-based love poems. And I kind of thought that I was done with the blues foolishly, but they're not done with you. You know, they come back for you. So these are a little bit different. I'll just read a few. This is called Slow Drag Blues. I don't believe in sex after marriage. My wife does, just not with me. I plead the fifth of whiskey. I am close to perfecting a theory of forgettability. Grief, the dog that keeps dogging me. Good grief, I say. It's me he's teaching to beg. My next anniversary is newspaper yesterday's, lining my cage. Tomorrow the day I hope to learn to stay. And this one is called it's hard to pick from your blueses, as I'm finding. There's a Limelight Blues. Sticking with the dog theme, I'll read Hang Dog Blues. I'm no angel, but you're the manger. You're the town and I'm the stranger. I'm the beggar and you the cup. I'm an indoor umbrella, you the bad luck. You're the vacation, I'm the last resort. Me the kangaroo, you the court. I'm a ghost town and you're the mayor. I'm a wreck, you're Keller and Keller. I'm the leaf and you the blower. I'm the sod, you the soldier. I'm the shoulda, you're the coulda. I'm the gravedigger, you're the widow. I'm what's left, you're always right. You're the pugilist, I'm a lightweight fight. I'm, well, you needn't. You're so what? You the movie star, me the stunt. You're my little bit, I'm the big flirt. I'm the desert, you're just dessert. I'm the Titanic, you're the rudder. You're the milkmaid, and I'm the udder. Who's the statue, and who's the pigeon? Who's the ought to, and who's just wishing? I'm the lean-to, you're gone fishing. You're the rescue, I'm still missing. I'm the pie, you're the piper. You're my baby, don't make me no diaper. It's funny because I end up writing a bunch of poems that deal with country music, at least in the titles, and I think in some way in the aesthetic. And it's not very far from the blues to country music, as any bluesman or even any old country musician knew. So this poem is called Ring of Fire, after the Johnny Cash song. Ring of Fire. At the strip club, we come for the ladies, but stay for the buffet. In Vegas, we feel paradoxical as jumbo shrimp. Everything here is for sale, and what's not for sale is free. In walks Dennis Rodman, hat pulled low, wearing a disguise in hopes of getting recognized. Between dances, they announce him over a microphone like bingo. When we return to our hotel, dawn has long gone, and the pool slowly fills with fools drained like us. We brown are already brown bellies, and I asked my buddy, think anyone would guess us black boys are a doctor and a professor? It's not that folks can't imagine it, just they don't even bother to consider us at all. Unlike us, our drinks are expensive and too strong. All night long at the Hold'em table, we'll gamble it all like tin men hoping for hearts. I shall be released. What we love will leave us, or is it we leave what we love? I forget. Today, belly full enough to walk the block after all week, too cold outside to smile. I think of you, warm in your underground room, reading the book of bone. It's hard going, your body a dead language. I've begun to feel, if not hope, then what comes just after or before. Let's not call it regret, but this weight or weightlessness or just plain waiting. The ice wanting again water. The streams of two plains across fading. I was so busy telling you this, I forgot to mention the sky. How in the dusk its steely edges have just begun to rust. I'll read a few poems from a sequence called African Elegy from my previous book, For the Confederate Dead. And the book sort of takes the term Confederate in its original sense, I suppose, of friend or ally. And one of the friends and allies in the book is a friend of mine named Philippe Wamba, He was a great writer and a great dancer, and he unfortunately was killed in a car accident in Kenya when he was working on his second book. He was 31. And I guess what was particularly strange about his dying so suddenly was that it was the year anniversary of September 11th. So in a weird way, this was a day of national mourning or contemplation, and here was this new private pain to deal with. So the poems, I guess, consider that Crossroads of Grief. This poem is called Burial, and it's a lot of the poems have subtitles or take their titles from Bob Marley songs. So this one's Burial, No Woman, No Cry. And it takes place in Tanzania, where he was buried and where part of his family's from. Burial. We circle the grave in dark coats like buzzards. The men, me too, this morning had lifted you, steering your wooden ship through metal doors to the living room. I couldn't stand to see the screws still loose. A plank it felt we walked. They lifted the lid right there, and we filed past like ants, bearing twice our weight in sorrow. It wasn't true. That ain't you. Too gray and serious. Right side of your face fallen, cotton filling your nose. At least the suit looked new. We held each other a long time after and could not speak like you. Get up, stand up, we'll sing later. The reggae you loved, your brother will strum, stumbling on a guitar, and for a moment you'll be there, here, where we've been brought to visit too late, like fools. At the grave, we step past crumbling stones and dead flowers to stand on the red rise of dirt already dug for you. The sound of them letting you down. The sound of men scraping and scraping. What I can't quite see, spreading the cool concrete over you by hand. And it takes long, so long, like death, like we once thought life. The choir lifts us up with their voices above the coconut trees. Habari Jamba, they sing, and the tune tells me, isn't that good news? Cell phones chiming their songs too. After, we place white flowers on your hardening tomb. Is it only the sun we shade our faces from? Our sweat, 1,000 tears. This next poem is called Katchafire, and it's about coming home after that, I suppose, and I lived in Indiana at the time, and something had occurred in my absence, and it'll become clear. And so it was sort of a strange, moment to return, obviously, anyway. But there'd been this thing, Katchafire. I arrive home to cyclones, to trees broken like the heat hasn't yet. Autumn nowhere in sight except a few leaves starting their fall fire. Driving without eyes for wreckage, I don't notice right away. Otis Redding sings a change is gonna come, and I sob one last time, you're gone. High up, the billions sold, sign mangled. Once golden arches turned almost an ampersand. A few miles along it dawns what storms I've missed. Signs ripped down, roofs made only of tarp. Pink tongues of insulation pulled from the mouths of houses now silent. Looking for a sign from God, one billboard asks. This is it. What's left of the Hillview Motel no longer needs say vacancy. Only the hill still here, the corn brown and shorn. In a few weeks, who can tell what's being built and what torn down, flattened, the fields all look the same. For now, this charcoal smell fluttering past the hill. It's been too hard living, and I'm afraid to die. The thick smoke billowing from burning what's still green, but can't be saved. I'll read a few more. So, I've been writing these odes to everyday things, and most of them are food, I suppose. I like to think of them as my Grecian urns or nightingales. So this is called Ode to Pork. I wouldn't be here without you. Without you, I'd be umpteen pounds lighter and a lot less alive. You stuck round my ribs even when I treated you like a dog, dirty, I dare not eat. I know you're the blues because loving you may kill me, but still you rock me down slow as ham hocks on the stove. Anyway, you come, fried, cued, burnt to within 1 inch of your life, I love. Babe, I revere your every nickname, bacon, chitlin, cracklin, sin. Some call you murder, shame stepsister, then dress you up and declare you white and healthy. But you always come back, sauced to me. Adam himself gave up a rib to see yours piled pink beside him. Your heaven is the only one worth wanting. You keep me all night cursing your 4-letter name, the next begging for you again. It's strange because in this book, that was the first poem I could write after my father died. He was killed very suddenly, and I couldn't write for a time. And in a weird way, it was sort of a way of writing about comfort food, though I realized later that what I sort of yearned for and begged for was him and his cooking. So in a weird way, I feel like food can do that, and certainly growing up, both my parents were from Louisiana, and I just thought everybody ate, grits and cornbread and okra, and every meal. We ate okra every meal. In a way, these poems were a way of going back home again. So I'll read just a few of those, and this is called Ode to Grits. And it begins with, and I haven't decided, and you can maybe help me, if is it an ontological question or a metaphysical one about the nature of a grit. Does it exist? Can it be proven? And, yeah. It also, it's funny because growing up, I thought grits were one thing and polenta was another thing, but they're not, the same. Just depends on where you come from and the price point. But pretty soon grits will be really expensive, and then we'll all be in trouble. Ode to Grits. Like y'all, or sorrows, or pig's feet, or God, your name always holds multitudes. is never just one, unlike moose or deer or death, which means both many and alone. Little Lazarus, you're the world before the flood, and what's after are ash turning back to a body. Done wrong, you are the flavor of a communion wafer. Miss Hominy, for years I misheard your name as Harmony, and I was right. Kissing cousin to cream of wheat, godmother to oatmeal, no one owns you, much less no Quaker. Those mornings over strawberry quick when the kettle called the cream of wheat cook to meet me for breakfast, you waited patiently to shine the whites of your million eyes on me. You must know I love you by the way I like you plain, maybe buttered up a bit. Salty, you keep me on my toes, let me believe this once in purity. No cheese, no grape jelly, no Mrs. Butterworths. Undoctored, your cloudy stare, unlike my father's, his one eye, no bullet met, that hours after he was shot through the other. I had to decide to give over to someone still alive, some girl or old man whose vision, even dead, ever the healer my father saved. Resurrected like you are daily. Welcome, stranger, pennywise prophet. You are the wet nurse of mercy. The rock water makes speak. So this is the last poem in this book, and then I'll read two quick new poems. Ode to Boudin. You are the chewing gum of God. You are the reason I know that skin is only that, holds more than it meets. The heart of you is something I don't quite get, but don't want to. Even a fool like me can see your broken beauty, the way out in this world where most things disappear, driven into ground. You are ground already, and like rice, you rise. Drunken deacon, sausage's half-brother, Jambalaya's baby mama. You bring me back to the beginning, to where things live again. Homemade savior, you fed me the day my father sat under flowers white as the gloves of pallbearers tossed on his bier. Soon hands will lower him into ground richer than even you. For now, root of all remembrance, your thick chain sets me spinning, thinking of how, like the small, perfect, possible, silent soul, you spill out like music, my daddy dead, or grief, or both. Afterward, his sisters, my aunts, dancing in the yard to a car radio, tuned to Zydeco, beneath the pecan trees. And these last two poems from a new thing I'm working on. This one, I don't know, in a way it takes up, I hadn't thought of it till just now, but it takes up where that poem leaves off, I suppose, after the dancing. It's called Bereavement. Behind his house, my father's dogs sleep in kennels, beautiful, he built just for them. They do not bark. Do they know he is dead? They wag their tails and head. They beg and are fed. Their grief is colossal and forgetful. Each day they wake, seeking his voice, their names. By dusk, they seem to unremember everything. To them, even hunger is a game. For that, I envy. For that, I cannot bear to watch them pacing their cage. I try to remember they love best confined space to feel safe. Each day, a saint comes by to feed the pair, and I draw closer the shades. I've begun to think of them as my father's other sons, as kin, brothers in paw. My eyes each day thaw. One day the water cuts off, then back on. They are outside dogs, which is to say healthy and victorious, purposeful and one giant muscle like the heart. Dad taught them not to bark, to point out their prey, to stay. Were they there that day? They call me like witnesses and will not say. I ask for their care and their carelessness, wish of them forgiveness. I must give them away. I must find for them homes, sleep restless in his. All night I expect they pace as I do, each dog like an eye roaming with the dead beneath an unlocked lid. And since Ed read a lovely poem for his newborn, I thought I'd read a poem about my son being born. It's called Crowning. And, apparently they're not just born. Someone has to do a lot of work. So this poem's really for my wife. It was a long labor, and he was 9 pounds, 13 ounces. So she's the hero. So this is called Crowning, and thanks so much for coming out. Now that knowing means nothing, now that you are more born than being, more awake than awaited, since I've seen your hair deep inside mother, a glimpse, grass and late winter, early spring, watching your mother's pursed, throbbing, purpled power, her pushing you for 1 whole hour, 2, almost 3, almost out, maybe never, animal smell and peat, breath and sweat and mulch matter, and at once you descend or drive, are driven by mother's body, by her will and brilliance, by bowel, by wanting, and your hair peering as if it could see. And I saw you storming forth, taproot, your cap of hair half in, half out, and wait, hold it there, the doctors say, and she squeezing my hand, her face full of her face full of fire, then groaning your face out like a flower, blood bloom, crocused into air, shoulders and the long cord still rooting you to each other, to the other world, into this afterlife among us living. The cord I cut like an iris pulsing. Then you wept against mother's chest, still purple, not blue, not yet red, no cry, warming now opening your eyes, midnight blue in the blue-black dawn. Thank you.